Okay, we're going to talk about our bar chords real quickly. Uh, we're not going to get really into this, but as you play more and more, these are going to be important. So, if you remember back to when we talked about learning a B major chord, we played an A chord, but instead of fingering of using our 1, 2nd, and our 3rd finger, we used our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th finger. Then we slid it up to the 4th fret, and we took our 1st finger and we tried stretching it all the way down here to the 1st or the 2nd fret of the A string. That was pretty difficult. So the other way that we like to do this is, as you learn bar chords, once we learn how to bar our 1st finger across, we can also take either our 3rd finger or our 4th finger, and instead of having our fingers like they were here, we can replace that with a bar using our 3rd finger or our 4th finger, whichever is more comfortable. Another way to conceptualize this is to think about a power chord. All we want to do is add one more note to that power chord. And if our root is on the A string, that note is going to be on the exact same fret as our 2nd, or our 3rd, and our 4th fingers. To get to that, we're just going to bar our 3rd finger across, or our 4th finger. Now that's a major chord. Remember what's the difference between major and minor? It's the 3rd note of the scale. So if this is our 3rd note, the new note that we just added, if we want to make that a minor, we just need to bring it down 1/2 step, or 1 fret. So how would we play that? Well, let's just look at our regular old power chord, or power chord. 1, 3, 4. And we're going to take our 2nd finger and we're going to place it on the 3rd fret of the B string. Let's try that. Let's make all this easier. Let's move it up to the 5th fret again. So we'll take our 1st finger, we'll put it on the 5th fret. Now for our bar chord, we're going to try to bar that 3rd finger across the 7th fret. Or you can try barring your 4th finger. That's a major. If we want to play a minor, let's go ahead and just play a power chord. Now we're going to take our 2nd finger and we're going to place it on the 6th fret of the B string. The problem that we get though is sometimes we get the E to buzz out and we don't want that. So to stop that, if we can bar this 1st finger across all 5 of these strings and then put down our other fingers, then every single note that we play is within that chord tone. Now if you're able to get that minor chord with the root on the A string, all we have to do to play a major chord with the root on the low E string is to take that same chord shape and move it over or down 1 string. To play a minor, we're going to lift up our 2nd finger. How does that work? We're barring across all 6 strings and placing our 3rd and our 4th fingers down in a power chord. So again, it's just like a power chord, but we're taking our 1st finger and we're barring it across all 6 strings. That's a minor with the root on the E string. A major, we're just going to take our 2nd finger, we're going to add it 1 fret below the 4th finger on the G string. Power chords are so important because all we need to know is that root note on either the E string or the A string, and we can find either our major or our minor chord. So if I were to say, hey, I want to hear a B major chord with the root on the E string, yep, that would be on the 7th fret. If I I were to say I want to hear a C minor chord with the root on the A string, yep, that would be on the 3rd fret.